just get started here. Whew, I don't know how to start this video off. Hi everyone. It's been a minute. Shoot. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, if I'm gonna be honest. It just kind of came to me a little while back. I've been seeing some videos recently of some creators who kind of just sit on here and either vent or like just talk about life. And I don't know, it's just something that sounded interesting, and so I want to give it like a try. And yeah, here we are now. So I've started kind of a new Minecraft world, and just wanted to see where things went and kind of take some time to, I guess, just talk about stuff, because like I feel like that's one thing that doesn't happen anymore, is no one really takes the time to talk about stuff that they need to talk about, you know what I'm saying? And so I think here's a nice place to kind of go about that. So I think for the most part I'm going to stick to like a topic per video and just kind of give my thoughts on the topic that I choose. And so today's topic, I just chose life, which is like a super general topic, but at the same time it's more of one of those topics where I'm like trying to like summarize my life up until this point, I guess, and also just kind of talk about the differences in my growing up versus I guess other people's growing up, and kind of like what that meant to me, and how it kind of shaped me, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited, and we'll just kind of see how this goes. So life, man, life as a kid is it's something else. Like, you don't, I feel like you don't really know how good you've got it until you don't have it anymore. And when I was growing up as a kid, I got to grow up overseas. Um, so I didn't grow up where my parents grew up. I kind of grew up in a different sort of cultural setting altogether. Ooh, there's a little structure over there. And so it was a mixture of keeping my parents' culture and the culture of my family, while also trying to figure out the culture of the place that I lived in, if that makes any sense. And so it's just kind of hard balancing the two. And I had to take time to figure it out, and I definitely learned at a different pace than others did. But I think one of the things that I miss the most about being a kid is the lack of cares and responsibilities that I had. And that could sound like, oh, this guy sounds like he's lazy or something. And I guess you can take it down that route, but for me, it was like you had so much more going for you when, like, not necessarily so much more going for you, but you had so much potential to do stuff when you weren't being like pressured by outside, I guess, forces telling you what you did and didn't need to do. Honestly, I might live in here. This seems pretty cool. Oh, never mind. Sounds like there's bad guys in here. See if I can I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Okay. So, yeah. Growing up as a younger kid, you don't have too many responsibilities, and it felt nice because I was homeschooled, so all I had to do was work on my schoolwork for the day, and then I would get to play outside or play with my friends or even play with some of my online friends, and it was the best because I got to like do what I enjoyed, and school wasn't always in the way for me necessarily. But I think what made it harder with living overseas is the ability for me to make friends there, because the job that my parents have, it had us moving around quite a bit overseas, and so we would never like get to stick around the same kind of people all of the time. If that makes sense. Let me get this guy. Okay. So it was always like hard. Ow. That scared me so bad. Do they respawn? Okay. Oh. Well, that stinks. Which way did I go? Oh no. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Anyways, sidetrack. So yeah, when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of ability to make a lot of friends, because the friends that I made would eventually, like, I would have to leave, or they would end up leaving because they were a part of the same kind of like job that my parents were, their family was, and so they would have to eventually move, but we'd like meet at some point and like become friends, and then they would move away. And being young, I didn't really have like a phone or anything when I was younger to stay in contact with them, so I just kind of like lose touch, and it felt hard to make friends when there was like no way to keep that friendship alive, and it felt like I was kind of, every time I made friends, I was kind of failing that friendship in a way. Perfect. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good now. I don't think there's really anything else up here, but it's not bad. I will take some blocks for the road. But yeah, everywhere I went, I would kind of make friends, and then I felt like I would lose them because I really don't get to talk to them after that point. And so at one point or another, I just decided to kind of stop making friends, if that makes sense. And because I decided to stop making friends, I became kind of antisocial a little bit, and I think that did not work too well in my favor growing up, because I wanted to continue being friends with the friends that I had, and really had no way to do that. So like it wouldn't work. I would kind of like not have an idea of how to go about making new friends, because I didn't want to make new friends, because I was in this headspace where all the friends that I made were temporary anyways, so what was the point? And that was until I got my first cell phone. And when I got my first cell phone, I then met a friend of mine who is still a friend of mine today, and we knew each other for about a year, and then they had to move away. But now that I had a phone, I had a way to stay in contact with him, and we would message like all the time, to the point where you would think that I had like a relationship with like a full-time, like an actual girlfriend, because we would talk all the time. And my parents were kind of like wanted me to make friends, but at the same time were like super cautious around like electronics and whatnot. And so this friendship that I had was kind of monitored in a way, because I couldn't be on all the time to be able to talk to my friend and be able to hang out with him, because the only way we could do that was online. And so my parents would limit my ability to talk with my friend, but that's just because the only way I could was through, you know, a phone, which they wanted to limit anyways, because I think it's smart to limit your children's screen time. But at the same time, my issue was that it was like one of those friends I was trying to like continue my friendship with, because it was one of the first ones that like I could continue it without it fading, sort of a deal. And so time flew by and kind of got older, up into my teenage years. That's kind of like the time when you want to like kind of like do, I guess, some soul searching. You kind of want to look for yourself, you want to find yourself, and you want to know kind of who you are. You want to give a definition to other people of the kind of person that you are. And it's what a lot of people wonder about you, is, you know, what kind of a person are you? But you're still figuring that out in your teen years, you know. And so throughout my teen years, I shied away from making more friends, because I had made a friend that I knew in my mind I wanted to have for forever. And so I poured so much time and dedication into this friendship that I felt like I didn't need to, and also I didn't have time for other friends. And that kind of worried my parents a little bit, because they were kind of seeing, you know, the antisocial tendencies in me, while I was trying to explain to them that I was being very social with, you know, the friend that I had online. And they try to be understanding, and I really do appreciate them for that. But you know, there was also this part of me that really thought that they were trying to just restrict me from enjoying the new friendship that I had found. And so it was a hard balance. I need to turn these game sounds down, bro. What is this? Friendly mobs. 20. That is weird, man. That is whack. Alright, Iron Golem, come over here. So, like, a lot of my teenage years was spent pouring time into a relationship I had with my best friend online for like ever. And it definitely took time away from other things that I could have done to make new friends, make more friends. But I felt You know, like it was really important to keep the connections that I had. I'm trying to look for some hay bales, see if they got any over here. And so I think that more heavily played into when I got to college, because I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to leave my dorm pretty much at all, because, you know, I had my friends on my computer where we would hang out all the time, and that I felt like that was all I needed from life, you know? And so I don't know, I just like didn't see too much of a need to start learning how to make new friends. I'm gonna go back to this village and grab a bed. Yeah, I did not know how good I had it as a teenager, still not having the kind of responsibilities I had as an adult. But when you're a kid, you want to grow up so fast, and that's probably one of the like worst ways of thinking. I think back on it, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're throwing away something amazing, something great. But yeah, when you're young, you want to be old, and when you're old, you want to be young. And it's this feeling of never being like truly satisfied with where you're at in life. And really, sometimes you just got to step back and realize that you made it this far in something that you thought was so awful, so terrible back in your earlier years. Now you barely even remember it. Man, college for me was a bit of a waste. I've yet to like make something of it. I felt like college was a waste for me purely because I was looking to become I was looking to get a degree kind of off the bat, and be able to do something with that, like a job. And at the time, I was like pretty heavily, actually I still am pretty heavy into IT. And there were no IT courses at the college I was going to. The only reason I was really going to that college is, one, I was going on a free ride, full scholarship, and two, my sister was there at college, and she wanted us to be like the college best buds, you know, siblings kind of college trope, I guess. And so I obliged, and I was like, you know what, it can't be that bad. And so I went to college and ended up not coming out of that with like pretty much anything. I spent 2 years there, and the communication at the college that I went to was so bad that I told my advisor I wanted to do an associate's degree, which is a 2-year degree, and then I was planning on doing tech school in order to get my certifications for IT. But the issue with that is when I was like halfway through my second year at college, and I was talking with one of my BSU I was talking with the BSU president, and he was telling me that the college that I was going to doesn't even offer associate's degrees. So I was like, what the heck? And so I ended up leaving and going to a tech school, or a trade school, as some people call it. And that ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made, because in 6 months, I learned everything that I need to learn in order to get a entry-level job in the career of my choice. And yeah, I did it in 6 months, and it cost me like $300 for 6 months of courses. the place that I found that did it was excellent. I'm very happy with the results, and yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. Growing up kind of sucks, but it's not all that bad. Um, Especially if you look on the bright side of things. You're becoming your own person completely. You have your own financial freedom. There's a lot of stuff that I could buy and not buy now that I'm an adult, and it's very much a exercise of your financial freedom to do those things, which feels good when you're an adult, but at the same time can also be kind of tedious, you know, because being an adult's not easy. All right, let's see what we got over here. In the future, I want to make more videos where they're a little bit more specific to certain situations, like dating or falling in love or something like that, or sports or religion or something like more like focused topics where I can kind of give a complete thought and I'm not giving you like the spiel on my entire like life growing up. But I don't know, we'll just have to kind of see how these videos go, and I really want to edit them down a lot, and just make sure that you know, they're not too long, they're more palatable. But I like this area over here. I like the red vines. Very nice. What's that over there? What? That looks like a skull. That is so cool. Kind of want to find somewhere snowy to build because I have a build in mind. But gotta find the perfect spot for it. What? What is that? That means there's an icy biome nearby. Okay. Let's see what we find here. I guess this is the bridge, huh? Yeah. That is... Holy cow. I just fell for the easiest trick in the book. Okay. What is that? What in the world? I can't even tell what that is. Is that like, it's a diamond helmet. Oh shoot. Curse of Binding? Listen, it's got a netherite armor trim. I'll wear that happily. Yes, sir. Oh. Oh. Okay. So I'm gonna just like make my way back down, and I don't know which way I should go. Probably that way. That way snowy. That's what I'm looking for. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let us embark. We've got some shiny new diamonds. Honest to goodness, I really don't know how this, like, editing is gonna go. I don't want to do too much editing, but at the same time, like, I want to make this short enough for people to just put on in the background and just kind of enjoy. And I want to put some peaceful music to it to just, yeah, kind of be like a whole vibe, you know? You can kind of just sit here and enjoy the sunset while you breathe out the cold air. Alright, we're on our way there. I think we put our stuff right over here because I want to kind of flatten this down a little bit. Anyways, yeah, I think this area would be great to build on. Just gonna kind of round things out a little bit. And I think it'll look pretty good. Alrighty, guys, well, I believe that's all we have time for today. And so I thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. And hopefully you will see more of these from me in the future. Yeah. Bye-bye.